Hey there, side hustlers. Think you're in control of your earnings? Think again. That app you're using to find gigs? It might be quietly screwing you over, and it's all thanks to something called algorithmic wage discrimination. We've all heard about the robots coming for our jobs, right? Well, in a way, they already have. Companies across the board, especially in the gig economy, are using algorithms, basically fancy math equations, to decide how much you get paid. Sounds neutral, right? Like some objective computer program is crunching numbers to be fair. Not so much. The problem is, these algorithms can be just as biased as the humans who create them, and they often operate in the shadows, making it difficult to know if you're being treated fairly. Imagine a digital boss that decides your pay based on factors you can't control. Factors like your race, gender, or even your zip code. That's the messed up reality of algorithmic wage discrimination. And it's time we shed some light on these shady practices. We're talking about a system where your livelihood is determined by lines of code you can't see, let alone understand. And when these algorithms get it wrong, who do you think pays the price? That's right, folks. It's the little guy, the hard-working hustler trying to make an honest buck. But don't worry, we're going to break down this complex issue into bite-sized pieces, expose the sneaky ways companies are using algorithms to shortchange you, and most importantly, give you the tools to fight back. Stay tuned. All right, let's get technical for a second, but not too technical, I promise. To understand how algorithms are messing with your money, we need to understand how they work. It's a three-step process: data collection, algorithm development, and wage calculation. First up, data collection. These companies are data-hungry vultures, constantly scooping up information about you. Where you live, what kind of phone you use, your browsing history, even how long it takes you to accept a gig offer. It's all fair game. And don't think for a second that your social media activity is off limits. These companies are watching, analysing and categorising your every move. Next, they take this massive data dump and feed it to their algorithms. These algorithms are basically sets of instructions that analyse patterns and make predictions. Think of it like a recipe. You throw in all the ingredients, data, mix it up according to the instructions, algorithm, and out pops a finished product, your wage. And here's where things get really messed up. Remember how I said these algorithms can be biased? Well, that's because the data they're trained on is often riddled with the same prejudices and inequalities that exist in the real world. So if a company has a history of paying women less than men for the same work, guess what? The algorithm will learn that pattern and perpetuate the cycle of discrimination. It's like teaching a robot to be sexist, but instead of being programmed to hate women, it's programmed to undervalue their work. Fun. But wait, there's more. Even if the data itself wasn't biased, and it almost always is, the way the algorithm is designed can introduce further unfairness. Companies can tweak the algorithm's parameters, prioritize certain factors over others, and essentially game the system to their advantage. And the best part? They don't have to tell you how they're doing it. It's like playing poker with a computer that can see your cards and change the rules whenever it feels like it. So, we've established that these algorithms are basically soulless number crunchers with a knack for perpetuating existing inequalities, but the problems don't end there. Oh no, my friends, the rabbit hole of algorithmic injustice runs much deeper. One of the biggest issues is the lack of transparency. Companies love to tout their algorithms as objective and unbiased, but they're often incredibly secretive about how they actually work. They hide behind vague terms like machine learning and proprietary technology to avoid scrutiny and accountability. It's like going to a restaurant where the menu just says food and the chef refuses to tell you what's in the secret sauce. You're just supposed to trust that it won't give you food poisoning. And what about human oversight? You'd think that with something as important as people's livelihoods on the line, there would be some checks and balances in place, right? Wrong again. In many cases, these algorithms are given free rein to make decisions without any real human intervention. It's like letting a Roomba run your entire household. Sure, it might be able to vacuum the floor, but you wouldn't trust it to do your taxes or perform surgery. on your goldfish. This lack of transparency and oversight creates a dangerous power imbalance. Workers are left in the dark, unsure how their wages are being calculated or if they're being treated fairly. And when they do try to speak out or challenge the system, they often hit a wall of silence or legal jargon designed to shut them down. It's a classic David versus Goliath scenario, except Goliath is armed with an army of algorithms and a team of lawyers ready to crush any dissent. Section 4, Real-Life Rip-Offs. From gig workers to job seekers, the algorithm is coming for your wallet. Okay, enough with the abstract concepts and hypothetical scenarios. Let's talk about some real-life examples of how algorithmic wage discrimination is screwing people over, shall we? Take the gig economy, for instance. We've all used those ride-sharing and food delivery apps, right? They're convenient, sure. But did you know that the algorithms behind those apps are often designed to maximize profits for the company, even if it means shortchanging the drivers? These algorithms can manipulate everything from the routes drivers are assigned to the surge pricing that customers pay, all while keeping drivers in the dark about how much they're actually earning. It's like playing a rigged game of Pac-Man, where the ghosts always know where you are and the power pellets never last long enough. And it's not just the gig economy. Algorithms are increasingly being used in hiring practices, often with discriminatory outcomes. Some companies use AI-powered resume scanners that filter out candidates based on keywords or demographic information, potentially excluding qualified applicants from marginalized groups. It's like applying for a job and having your application tossed in the trash because your name doesn't sound professional enough or because you live in the wrong zip code. Even seemingly harmless things like facial recognition software can be used to perpetuate wage discrimination. Studies have shown that these systems are often less accurate at identifying people of color, potentially leading to biased hiring decisions or unfair treatment in the workplace. It's like being judged by a security camera that thinks you look suspicious just because of the color of your skin. The bottom line is this: algorithmic wage discrimination is a pervasive problem that affects workers across industries and income levels. From the gig economy to the corporate world, these invisible systems of oppression are quietly shaping our lives and livelihoods, but it's not all doom and gloom. There are things we can do to fight back and demand a fairer system. Section 5, Fighting Back Against the Machines, How to Make Algorithms Play Fair. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, and it's easy to feel overwhelmed and powerless in the face of these complex algorithms. But don't despair, my fellow humans, because the fight for algorithmic justice is far from over. First and foremost, we need to demand transparency. These companies need to stop hiding behind their fancy algorithms and start being upfront about how they're using our data and making decisions that affect our livelihoods. We need to know what factors are being considered, how the algorithms are being trained, and what steps are being taken to mitigate bias. It's time to shine a light on these black boxes and hold these companies accountable for the outcomes of their algorithms. But transparency alone isn't enough. We also need to push for stronger regulations and ethical guidelines for algorithm development. Governments and regulatory bodies need to step up and establish clear rules of the road for how these technologies can be used in the workplace. We need to ensure that algorithms are designed with fairness and equity in mind, and that there are mechanisms in place to address bias and discrimination. And let's not forget about the power of collective action. Workers need to organize, share their experiences, and demand better from the companies they work for. Unions, worker advocacy groups, and online platforms can all play a crucial role in raising awareness, mobilizing workers, and pushing for change. The fight against algorithmic wage discrimination won't be easy, but it's a fight we can't afford to lose. The future of work depends on our ability to harness the power of technology while ensuring that it serves the needs of all workers, not just the privileged few. So let's get out there, raise our voices, and demand a fairer, more equitable future for all.